Come on in, say hello, everybody. It is our first Case the Cattie session, and I can see that I've got a few people here, so that's perfect. So you want to see how to make the items in the catalog. So feel free to leave comments. I will try and watch. I won't be asking you for input for these cards like I do on my Facebook Live in the VIPeeps group on Tuesday night. So you're just going to sit back and relax. You don't have to worry about trying to get your answer in really, really quickly. So hello, Leanne and Judy. Thank you for coming along. Hello, Shirley as well. And so I posted this morning just a quick, and it only came to me this morning. So I'll give you a little bit more notice next time. Hi, Jennifer. So I'm going to ask you to guess what you think I might be showing you. So I gave you 2 pages out of the catalog in the post, and all I'd like you to do is to go into the comments and tell me which design you think I'm going to be playing with. Hello, Mary. And so, and then I'm going to put all of those names into my random picker, and I'm going to show you here, and we'll draw a name, and that person is going to win the card that I make. So we're going to do the draw right now, well, right after I make it, that is. So we're going to have a little bit of back and forth with the camera. We'll see how it works. I'm hoping not to get you too seasick. And let's see, what else do I need to tell you? I think that's probably it. So yes, feel free to comment. Tell me what you like. If you like the sample in the catalog, if you think that, oh, it didn't do anything for you before. So hello, Denise. And what stamps might you use? Because I'm going to show you it with some different stamps. So especially the one today, I didn't have the stamp set that they used, but I just sort of went, oh, which one am I going to pick? And I stuck my finger down, and that's the one I picked, and I didn't have that stamp set. But so I want to show you how you can get versatility out of those designs and make it. You don't have to have that stamp set, or maybe some of the dies. So we're going to get started. I do have 2 things to tell you. The first, I guess, is our stamping staycation, and I'm going to point you down so that I can show you the flyer that we have. Okay, so Stamping Staycation. If you have not heard about this yet, I definitely want you to know that we are hosting a 1-day stamping retreat, and it is virtual, and you can be anywhere in the world for this. We will be speaking English, but there should be translations on the videos as well. We will be doing imperial measurements, just a note for that. So it's going to be fun. We've changed our logo a little bit for this one, and you might be able to see what kind of situation, what we might be doing. We are actually going to be celebrating, because this is our first full year, and this is our 4th Stamping Staycation. We keep getting bigger, and we hope just a little bit better. We tweak it a little bit every time. There's 3 of us, Lillian, Marilyn, and myself, and we are right in the midst of our planning and our preparations, and we would love for you to join us. So if you already have joined us, maybe put some hearts up there. So let's just see if we have anybody watching that is already going to be joining us. This is where you can go register. So it is www.designwithjo.ca/ and that's a / Staycation Spring 21. And you can get all the details there about what you get for your $47. We start at 9 a.m. in the morning, so that's Mountain Daylight Time, and we go to 4:30. So it is a full day, but you don't have to attend the entire day. We come on every hour on the hour for a period of time. So it's like you will have some breaks, so don't worry about that. Okay, so that's the first thing that I want to tell you. I think that's all I want to share today. So I want to get right down to our creating. And so I'm going to narrow it down, and I'm actually doing one of the samples on page 26, and I'm going to start the sample, and then I'm going to come back and I'm going to show it to you. So see if you know which one it is. So Jennifer, I don't think there's any flowers on here. So sorry, today's not your lucky day, I guess. Okay. So here's what we're going to play with. We just have, oh, I forgot the card itself. Hold on. So here's what you need. You need 1 regular piece of your crumb cake cardstock, and this is 8.5, 5.5 by 8.5, and you're going to score it in half at 4 1/4. So you need that. Then you need one piece of your basic white, and this is just the regular, and it's 3 3/4 by 5. And then just a little piece of white. Now this is going to change possibly the size dependent on what sentiment you have to fit. I'm going to show you some samples at the end. So the one that I'm doing is 1 1/4 by 1 1/2. So a fairly small piece of paper. So I'm going to set that aside for now, and we're going to work with this one. Anybody got an idea on what sample it is yet? I think you might. So, before we get going, I'm going to tell you about my host code. So this is where you can shop with me and earn rewards. So every month I have a different host code, and I call it Sunny Rewards. And when you shop with me and use that host code online, with a $60 order, you get to mark off one of the sunflowers on my card. And after you fill it with sunflowers, you get $50 free. Whatever you want. You can use it on classes with me. You can use it on product. Most people use it on product. So that's, if you don't have a demonstrator in Canada yet, then I would be happy and I would really appreciate your business. And you can shop with me and get free things. Okay, so we're going to use the Stamparatus today. And I've already put my words on here. And I'm going to be using a stamp set that has been around already. It's not one of our brand new ones. So this is Sailing Home. And I use this one because I thought there might be people who have it. In fact, there's probably a few of you that are watching that have it. Let me know if you do. And also Father's Day is coming up. So I thought, let's do something for Father's Day. So you're going to see a few designs, and our the Tuesday night that we did was Father's Day too. Okay, so I've already put my words on here, and my words are, you are my true north. So I'm just going to put that in. Now, when you have your Stamparatus, you don't want to leave your plates in it if you're not using it. So that's why it wasn't in there and ready to go. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my piece of basic white, and I'm going to put it just anywhere here, but I have an idea where it's going to go. That's a little bit too far to the right, and you'll see why I'm going to be doing this in just a moment. Okay, so I think that that's much better. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to ink that up with my cinnamon cider stamp pad. So I'm going to make sure, yeah, I am on. Okay, so I didn't want to be off the screen. So I'm going to ink that up, and I am going to stamp. Okay, so, and I don't have my paper towel. My paper towel makes this really easy. Is this guy dry? This guy's pretty dry. We'll use that. Okay, so I've got that one down. Now I'm going to move down to 2 on my hinge. That's one of the benefits of the Stamparatus. This is hinge step stamping. I'm not going to re-ink, and I'm going to place that down again. Okay, so it will be a lot lighter. Next, I'm going to go up to the next one. I'm going to go up to the second one. So I went down 2, I guess to, no, I'm sorry. I'm going to call this 1, 2, and 3. I went down to the third one. Now I'm going up to number 2. But I'm also going to move my paper. So lots of people, when they're using their Stamparatus, think that they can't use your paper, move their paper, but you can. So I'm going to move it over 2 little squares here. So I'm just going to line it up again. I'm going to make sure I have my magnets in place. And this time I'm going to ink it up again. And I'm going to stamp it lightly, just lightly. I don't want it to be quite as dark as this one. So now I've got a little bit of line, so I like that. Now I'm going down to number 1, 2, 3, 4, and I'm going to ink it up. So this, you can decide how you want to do it. I want a variation in the darkness of my words. So I've got dark here, dark here. I'm going to move it back to the top. And now I'm going to move it down 2 squares. So if I move it down 2 squares, and I like using the small grid paper for this as opposed to the big side. This side has bigger squares. I just think that it looks better. I'm not re-inking, and I'm going to stamp. So this is my third impression. So it's sort of like I'm stamping off. Okay, so there we go. We've got some variation in color. I'm going to ink it up again, and I'm going to come down. Let's see, what will 1 do for me? I think I'm not going to do 1. And the reason why I'm not going to do 1 is it's too close to this one I just did. So it's going to be too much in line. So I'm going to, and it's right in line with this one too. So that would look too much the same. So I think what I'm going to do is I am actually going to move my paper over 2 more squares. So when you're doing it like this, what you're getting is something that's a very consistent kind. Here we go. I'm going to do that. Very consistent kind of stamping. Okay, you're getting a straight line all the time. Going to go down 2 this time, stamp again. Boy, I keep forgetting to use that. And I'm going to go back up. Nope. I'm going to go here, and I'm going to do 1 more time. And that's all I'm going to do. So play with it a little bit. You are going to like how it looks for yourself, one way or the other. Now, I could move it also this way if I want, but I think I'm just going to leave it like that. Okay, so we are done with our Stamparatus. I'm just going to clean it. So I've taken my Simply Chamois and I've just cut it in half just to make it easier to hold and use on my Stamparatus. And then I'm just cleaning that so that it's clean. I don't have to worry about putting my hands in it. I'm going to take everything and put it away. Well, put it aside. Okay, so that's what we've got so far. Do we have some guesses in there? Carol's asking, what does the towel do? So on top of that plastic, your fingers aren't as soft as you think they might be. So when you move your hands across, it actually can sort of, it doesn't move as smoothly. So this just allows you to move it a little bit smoothly, a little bit more quickly, Carol, so that it just seems to run and you get a smoother or more consistent application of the ink. So I hope that helps. Okay, so now we are going to pull in some Sahara sand. And the Sahara sand, I'm going to use my blending brushes. If you don't, excuse me, if you don't have these are a wonderful tool. There are tons of little bristles in here, and I've been using them quite a bit. I put just a flower on the back just to tell me sort of what color family. So I don't have one in every color. I could also use this on early espresso if I wanted, and I'll show you how to clean it in just a minute. So if you don't have these though, you can use a sponge dauber or you can use a sponge. So let's go up here. I'm just going to tap it in there, give it a good tap. I always tap off onto my scrap paper. And when I do that, it just allows it to take that first big hit of color and put it on the paper as opposed to getting a splotch on my card. So now I'm just going to swirl it on. Go right to the top and just go wherever you want, sort of right down the middle of the page. Pick up some more color and come in. I'm not using a real heavy hand. I'm using a fairly light hand, but enough that I'm just going to get a little bit of color down. Okay, so all you're doing is changing the color of the paper. So that's my Sahara sand. I'm going to take some of my cinnamon cider and just do the same thing. Now it's a much darker color, so I'm really making sure that I stamp off. And I'm just using a really light touch. Okay, it's just going to give it a little bit more of the cinnamony color. And I'm not doing too much of that. Now I'm going to pull in and do some stamping. So the stamps that I'm choosing, the colors that I'm choosing are directly out of the catalog. So the colors that were used on that particular card, and I'm hoping that some of you guys have noticed what card I am actually recreating. I'll show you now in case you don't. It's this guy right here. So sometimes we don't look at the samples that are in behind or the ones that are really close to the edge of the paper where the catalog folds. I take my catalog and I do coil binding so I can pull it back, and I actually think I can see maybe just a little bit better. So this is the one that I'm doing, and the colors in here are rich raspberry, the soft succulent, the cinnamon cider, and this is misty moonlight with the browns that we've already used. So we've done that part already. Now I'm going to go in with some of my color. So I'm going to go with my rich raspberry, and I've got the anchor here for that, and I'm just using straight on. Now if I wanted to, which I'm going to do here, I'm going to use my soft succulent, and I'm going to pick up the compass, do that with my right hand, and I'm going to stamp it once, and then I get the first impression of color, and then I'm going to get the second impression of color. Okay, so I want that down at the bottom. Now I'm going to go in with my sailboat, and I think maybe I'll put my sailboat here. I'm thinking there's a little bit of a hole here. Yeah, put my sailboat here, a little bit further down. I'm not going to put it right here. So I'm going to put it down, go off the page a little bit, and then I'm going to just have another mast coming in maybe. And I'm also then going to go in with a little bit of cinnamon cider, and I'm going to do the birds in that set. So I'm going to put some birds over here maybe some down here. So when I'm going to do one more, I'm going to do the third impression over here, just so that they're light. Okay, so that is how you create the background. And now I want to show you how to do the little tag. So I'm going to take that piece off. Again, my piece is 1 1/4 by 1 1/2. I've got the thanks, which does fit on here. And that's such a little piece. I'm hoping that I'm going to get it on here straight while I'm on camera. So let's try this. Not too bad, but I see I have a little bit of ink on my finger. But now I'm going to show you, if you don't already know, how to make that banner on the bottom. So down at the bottom, I'm going to pick the middle and I'm just going to eyeball it. So I'm going to pick right there and I'm going to go in probably about 3/8 of an inch. And then I'm going to go from one edge and from the other corner and I'm going to meet up with where I ended. There we go. Go. And do the same thing on the other side. Okay, so there we are. So I've created my little banner. Now I could do some stamping on that if I want, but if I look at the one in the catalog, they haven't done that. So I'm just going to close this up so it's out of the way, that color, and I want to show you the finished card. Okay, so the finished card is right here. So there's all the preparation for the card, and here's the finished card. So I had my sailboat on this card in a little bit of a different place. So this is a piece of ribbon in behind that is about 4 inches long. So you can just take that, fold it in half, and put it down with glue dots. And then I put little mini dimensionals in behind my tag, and the whole thing went onto my card. Okay, so that's how easy it is to case something out of the catalog. Now I want to show you a couple other samples that I made, and I want you to try and guess what the stamp set is. So the first one is this guy right here. So who knows what stamp set I used here? And I'm just going to wait, maybe well, I don't know. I will bring it out in just a second. But what I wanted to show you is how different you can get your cards to look by changing up your stamp sets. So if you don't have, this looks bigger, doesn't it? If you don't have some masculine or sort of collage, let's call these ones collage stamps, then pull in what you do have. So if you have a ton of flowers, they will work equally well. So this is, I'm seeing, oh, Jennifer's got it, the strawberry set. So there's one more. And I also want to show you one more sample here, which is this guy, and who knows which one this one is. So I wanted to show you different colors as well. So this is some different color choices, a little bit softer colors, definitely more ladylike here. So we've got a birthday card happening. So what stamp set is this one from? And the thing about this card that's great is that it just uses stamps, ink, and paper with a tiny little bit of embellishment with ribbon. You could go through your ribbon stash and pull it out. You probably have some links that are about this long and just fold them in half. You can see that I went with a different size tag for this one. This one also is a little different, and I stamped on it. So those are some different ways. And I also want to show you how I picked my colors. So out of this set here, and I'm looking expressions in ink with a question mark. Yeah, it's expressions in ink. So this is the paper, and this is all of the paper for expressions in ink and all of the colors. So I went here and I picked these colors. So the colors I have in here are pale papaya, positively pink, mint macaron, and then I went with one more color, and I went with petal pink, which is just a lighter color. So that's what our little dots are. So that's how you can do it, and it's a great way for you to use up the stamps that you have. Now, the best way that you can help me is to make a card like this and share it in the comments. So I would love to see your designs. Everybody has so many different stamp sets that you love. You might hate flowers. If you don't like flowers, if you like cutesy, if you've got something there at home that you need to make a card for, go ahead and play with that. Play with different colors. Look at the designer paper you have, pick out some of the colors there and use that. Okay, so thank you very much for joining me for our first episode. It's actually episode 2 though, because at our next best thing, I I did one and I showed you. And if you were there, you saw it. I also put it up on my blog the other day. I hope that you enjoyed that. I'm going to come every week, 11 o'clock in the morning on a Thursday, and I'm going to show you a bunch of different things. So if you would like to see a particular sample in either of our current catalogs. So I'm thinking the mini, if there's a spring mini one, or if there's something in the annual catalog, then for sure send me an email. Again, it's joe@designwithjoe.ca, and let's see if I can make that and show you, take away some of the mystery. Okay, have a great day, everybody, and we will see you again. Bye-bye.